And we're live. MMA Uncensored, episode 7. It's Thursday night, and thank you all for joining this episode of MMA Uncensored Live. I just want to say a special thank you to last week's guest, Paul Malignaggi. Paul Malignaggi was on last week, and we had a great time talking to him. It was a lot of fun. Paul had some funny shit to talk about last week, and a couple of the clips actually went the distance on social media. A lot of people were sharing it and commenting, and Paul Malignaggi, he definitely knows how to bring the heat. So just want to thank him for being on the show. Also, guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel, MMA Uncensored, for all the past episodes. You could also follow us on Instagram at MMA Uncensored _. And I also want to give a shout out to our sponsors as well, Nick and Nate Diaz with Game Up Nutrition. For 10% off on products, you could use code MMA Uncensored. And also want to give a shout out to Veteran Farms, veteranfarms.com for all quality cannabis. You definitely want to reach out to them as well. Tonight, we have a very, very special guest this evening, and I've been looking forward to this episode for quite some time. Lethwei World Champion and pretty much a worldwide badass. He also beats the shit out of banana trees. I mean, you got to love this guy right here. They call him King Leduc, King of Lethwei, the champ himself, Dave Leduc. Dave.
Hey, Joe, thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, Dave. And I'm excited, man. You know, I've been watching a lot of your fights. I've been also watching a lot of your training, man. I got to say, it's just unbelievable to watch you fight and watch you train. It's just incredible, man. It really is. Actually, I had quite a few people when I started promoting this episode on Instagram. A lot of people were reaching out to me and saying, "Oh my God, you're going to be talking to King Leduc this week? That's so cool, man." So, nice. Thank you for joining us. And you're in Montreal, right?
Pardon me?
You're in Montreal right now?
Yeah, a bit outside of Montreal, and at least there's no snow anymore. So came back to the roots a little bit, see the family, see everybody, and now we got kind of stuck here. I mean, there's a worse thing than that, but like I was, planning a lot of trips, a lot of seminars, and everything's on hold, like everybody. So I'm not gonna get into this too much because everybody has a bit of a, either financial losses or whatever. Mm-hmm. So. We're good. I'm still training every day with my team, so we don't give a shit. We're getting ready for when it's gonna start again, right? So we have to, because if it starts, it's probably gonna be okay. Get ready. You're fighting in a month. You're getting, so we're ready.
I love it, man. And I also wanted to bring in the CEO of MMA Uncensored, Chris LeBeau. Chris.
Hey, Chris.
What's up, King?
How are you, Chris? I'm good.
To see you.
Thank you. Are you in Florida as well?
Yeah, I'm in Tampa.
Okay, I can't wait to come visit you guys because we're supposed to have Lethwei. That's the goal, right? To have it in Miami, Florida. I said that on the Joe Rogan podcast. Now it was supposed to be in June, so right. I was gonna hook you up with good seats to get maybe some blood. So like Joe said, some blood splash in your face ringside.
Yeah, I was watching your Joe Rogan
I remember
episode.
us talking
that was
about
really
that.
Good, man.
Yeah, it was good. I tease him because it was sober October, so he wasn't as laughing at my jokes as if he was high. Yeah, it was a really good exchange. We had some good talks about. I've been dying to talk about headbutts and everything because he's been a big proponent of potentially bringing back in MMA like it was back in beginning of UFC. So it's a big deal, so it was fun to chat. But now we're gonna talk even more in depth with you guys.
Yes, absolutely, man. And I'm really looking forward to talking Lethwei because a lot of people don't know about Lethwei here in the United States. Obviously,
Let's say that that's a challenge gesture. Like Chris did that. He slapped on your arm. So that basically, for those who don't know, a lot of people ask me. It's called the Lekamun. I think it's on Wikipedia, and it's like a 2,000-year-old gesture that the Burmese Empire, when they were like in the war trenches, because it was really the strongest army in Southeast Asia, the Burmese, and they were doing this before going to war and before fighting. So it kind of stuck, and it symbolizes a wing of a bird, like an eagle, before fighting, right? So you slap 3 times on your elbow like this, and you're like, let's fucking do this, let's fight.
Wow. And how long ago is this going back?
The gesture or the sport?
Yeah, the gesture.
Well, I think it's pretty closely tied. Like at the same time, Lethwei, there's symbols of like guys clashing their heads and doing takedowns on the pagodas in Bagan. So Bagan is a beautiful UNESCO protected spot, and one of the pagodas is about close to 2,000 years old, and there's drawings of headbutts on the pagoda, inside the walls of the pagoda. So from that we can probably conclude that it's about 2,000 years old. Wow. And that it's pretty cool to be continuing this tradition.
So how did Lethwei come about? How did this style of fighting originate?
That's a good question, and a lot of people ask me that. Basically, I spoke about it quickly on with Joe, but it wasn't in depth like I wanted to be, and that's something I wanted the fans to know, is that Lethwei is originated from Burma. People know it as Burma, but now it changed name. It's Myanmar now, right?
Myanmar, okay.
So most people know it as like the Burmese python, like a lot of things that comes from that neck of the woods. But everything is like extraordinary there, like the fucking pythons are fucking 20 feet long. The fighting is the most real sport there, but incredibly enough, Burmese people are the kindest you ever meet in my life. I traveled all around Asia and around the world, and no joke, they're so humble, so kind. But when they go in the ring, they get down to business. That's what I really relate to that, right? I like that. I like to be as kind as I can outside the ring, but then when we go in the ring, let's fucking do this. And like every man should be, actually. So, but when you look at the history, they started fighting when it was like Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, all this like the Siam Empire back in the days in Thailand, and Burma was dominating the warfare like this, and we can look into a bunch of like where they're branched out eventually. Like some people say that Muay Baran, which is the ancestor of Muay Thai, Muay Baran, which was like with ropes, right? And some people say that it was influenced by Lethwei. So because Muay Baran had headbutts, right? And then over the years, Muay Baran, I think the king of Thailand said, we can't do that. It's too brutal, and it's not going to be good for tourism. So they removed the headbutt. Somebody says your hair is perfect. I love it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I thought they were talking about you, Dave.
Yeah, I know. I said Joe. I don't have hair. But, just to make a long story short, they removed the headbutts, added gloves, and added a scoring system, which became Muay Thai as we know. And I'm a bit in a curious position right now. I kind of have the tourism ambassador unofficial title, because I'm not annoyed, but I feel like I'm it's my job to bring the limelight back to Myanmar, back to Burma, because it was in the shadow of the world for the past hundreds of years, right? And because of that, it was not able to export its traditional culture as well as Thailand did, right? We have Muay Thai gyms around the world, but yet, we only have a few Lethwei gyms here and there. And so my job is to say, look, guys, without going into details too much about which came first, which I think Lethwei came first, is the ancestor of Muay Thai. But we can say, look, if you want to train a very efficient martial art, good for close combat with headbutts, getting used to fighting without gloves, because chances are, if you get into a fight at the bar, you won't fucking have gloves on, right? So how to punch without gloves is a big difference. I don't know. Have you ever tried punching a punching bag without gloves, Joe?
Yes, I have.
Yeah?
It hurts. It hurts, man. Well, I cut all my knuckles up for sure,
Yeah. And you, Chris, you tried the bag without gloves? He's not here.
Oh, yeah. Same. Knuckles, for sure.
The hooks, right? The hook is way different. We don't have the wrist support. So you have to change the way you throw your hooks. So it's a different game. I know you guys cover a lot of bare knuckle boxing, right? That's really cool that it's growing in popularity in the States and in the world. Next step is to bring all limbs in the States, right? To have You know, because punching is really great. But when you add like kicks to keep that distance, when you have elbows and you have in the pocket, you have the headbutt. It's another martial arts. I'd be really happy to finally have an event there.
So you know, I agree with you. I would love for Lethwei to come here in the United States because it really is an awesome combat sport, very different. We don't see anything like that here in the United States. I'd say like, you know, Muay Thai, you know, is very close to it. But you know, again, you don't have that, you know, the headbutts, you know, so it becomes a little more dangerous.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said it becomes a little more dangerous when you incorporate those legal headbutts.
There's also other things that makes it dangerous. Is like they're really fluid. They're very loose on, like, let's say I clinch your head, I can do like a 12-6 elbow on the back of the, like, they don't really care. It's part of tradition. That's why you might have some hard times getting legislation in some states. All like takedowns that's where it's a big difference as well. In Muay Thai, you can do like suplexes on the head. You can do suplexes, and I'll do a body lock, and as you're in front of your partner, you can land your headbutt on the chin, headbutt on the neck, on the chest. So very fluid on the takedowns. You can even do double legs. It's not like you're not going to win the fight like that, right? You can do, and if you do it too much, the referee's going to be, hey, stop stalling, let's fight. But you can do all kinds of throws, sweeps, and suplexes. I like that. A lot of the older generation were doing a lot of fucking throws, and they're landing on the head. So I'll send you some links.
Like
yeah,
Kung
I would
Lee.
like
Kung Lee.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
he does some throws.
Yeah. Kung, I met with him in San Jose last year, and I said, man, you would have loved it, you know, to do all those Shansho throws. You would have said, yeah, man, I wish it was around when I was fighting. You would have loved it. Even Bast, I was in LA with Bast Rutten, and you know, he used to fight with no gloves, a lot of open strikes and everything, and headbutts, obviously. So it's cool to get. I mean, not your probation, but the love from all these legends.
Legends, yeah. Kung Lee and I are pretty good friends. We talked a couple days ago, and
Okay.
we talk about you sometimes.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I really get along well. I said if I fight MMA, I want him in my corner, and so we're in the talk.
That is awesome, man. So, like, what have you guys been doing? You know, I don't know. We don't want to talk too much about quarantine, but what have you been doing during this time to train and to stay ready? Because I know, like you said earlier, at any given moment, they could open up the gates and now you got to fight.
Yeah, so we're training every day. We're training. I'm doing a lot of training with a bunch of MMA guys. So we're doing a lot of wrestling, because it's very important for Lethwei as well. Right? The clinching, the wrestling, not giving the body lock too easily. So I train with a bunch of MMA guys, and we're fucking ready. We're ready for battle. Like as soon as it opens, we're ready. So, but a lot of my work is also like protecting the hands, so you keep it only for the fight. Like if you break your hands, or if you so I like to do a lot of elbows in fighting, because it's one of the strongest parts of our body, and it sets up a lot of things. So if I can land an elbow, right? So I train a lot of my elbows during the quarantine, and if I land those elbows, well, you finish up with hands. So I believe in bare knuckle fighting, obviously you can't do that when it's a BKFC, but in bare knuckle fighting, I apart from the jabs, that for me there's little risk of breaking my hand on the jab, right? Mm-hmm. But if I go for a massive cross and the guy drops his chin and I hit his forehead, that's the danger, right? So I tend to go for like jabs and then big elbows, and if somebody feels the elbow, they're not going to be there for too long up.
Well, it's funny you bring up elbows. So I saw some videos, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked to me like you were cutting your elbows with a knife to callus them up. Is this true? Is that real?
What do you think?
It was real.
I believe it's real.
One of the
wasn't ketchup.
extraordinary measures for extraordinary thing, right? I'm not gonna comment on that particular video. We'll keep it mysterious. But I want to say, like, if you what was it again? If you want to have different results, you have to do different things. And most people in life, we're not even talking about fighting, but they want us. They say I want to travel. They say I want to do this and that, but they don't do anything different. They don't act upon it. So like fighting BKFC, fighting Lethwei, fighting MMA. You need, if you want to be stay at the top and be at the top, you have to do fucking crazy shit.
Yes.
I shout out to my man Tony. Tony, you had a good fight the other day, but fuck, he's I like how you think outside the box. I respect that. So, yeah, it's so yeah. You have to be surprised. You have to be different a little bit. Yeah.
Were you surprised by that fight and the outcome?
Yeah, I was. I really thought he was gonna have that because I thought it was gonna be a good matchup with Khabib. So it sucks that it's probably never gonna happen again. There's no hype anymore, right? He lost. So
yeah.
Like, I don't.
Let me ask you a question. He said something about he's been in training camp since December, and now we're in May, and he's done all these weight cuts. That's a hell of a camp, right? 4 or 5 months.
I think I don't recommend that, and that's one of the reasons I fight Lethwei, because I walk around at 180 pounds and I fight at 80 kilograms is about 176. So I go for a jog and I lost 4 pounds, and that's my weight cut, right? So that was cool, especially when I lived in Dubai. It was 50 degrees Celsius. I don't know what's in Fahrenheit, but it's fucking hot. Yeah, I was melting away. So I never do weight cuts because I felt very healthy, and I wish that one day we're not gonna have to do all these weight cuts. It's big strain on the body, and so my fight was at my walking weight. If I would cut weight, I would probably fight at like 155, probably. Wow. That's 6'2", 155. That would be a tall motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
that's Conor.
Holy cow!
But yeah, so I'm glad like there was an open weight category in Lethwei, and for those who don't know at home, like in Lethwei, there's all the weight categories. Like from lowest to 80 kilograms to 175, and traditionally there was not a lot of Burmese guys higher than 175, so they 180 pounds. So they just made, what, you're open weight, you're the biggest guy. You're gonna fight foreign Russians, foreign people, everybody. There's been some a bunch of heavyweights coming in, and but when you have, and that's a misconception, and I wanted to talk to you about this. They most of the guys, the best they could do was a draw. Or because in the traditional Lethwei, it's KO only to win, right? So you can only win if there's a KO. If there's no KO, it's a draw. Even if you fucking lacerate the face, you cut him up, you piece him up, it's a draw. And I went into my fucking Wikipedia the other day and I saw I have a few draws, right? But those fights, if you look it up, man, that was not draw. That was clear 10-8 rounds, all of it. Like doctors, went to the doctors, bloody. So I respect that part and I embraced it because I fought traditional Lethwei, and you have to accept the draw that comes with it. But I was ready for photo shoot after the fights, So, but to come up with this is saying that the open weight category was very cool, because if you win that golden belt, the coveted golden belt of Lethwei, well, you have to accept the challengers at any weight, basically.
Wow. Now, as let me ask you this. So I'm just curious. Is it exposed knuckles or is there wraps on the hands?
So there's a gauze on a little bit. The way I did it, and now I do nothing almost. I just do one or two strips of gauze, and it's nothing. It's just to look like Sagat in Street Fighter the game, right? It looks cool. I even wrap my ankles, so it looks badass. Yeah. But when I was a beginner and when I first fights, I asked my corner to put a lot of gauze just in case I break my hands. I didn't really know what to expect, and but now it's like nothing, and I feel you feel more raw with it, right? Like you just feel like strapped. Let's fucking bang, and I like it, yeah. And to come with the first fight, guys, the first fight they had to lie on my record because I was unexperienced. I had 12 fights in Muay Thai, and they said, well, that's not enough to fight the champ, but nobody wants to fight him, so we're gonna lie on your record. They said I had 40 fights.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So it was just like they wanted to beat another, let's bring another white dude from the Western, and from Canada, and let's
get his ass kicked. Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't happen like that.
It didn't happen like that. So now, how many legitimate Lethwei fights have you had so far in your career?
I think it's 11 right now in 4 years. I had a big year, 2017. I did 5 fights in a year. And after that year, in December, I was like, fuck, my body's aching everywhere. My elbows were not healing. My hands were swollen. So I was like, okay, I'll take a break. And but the itch came back pretty fast.
Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Like just watching the sport and watching how it is. It's funny that you mentioned street fighting because I was thinking the same exact thing when I was watching you fight, which was really funny. Now, also in Lethwei, aside from obviously, all right, we got a couple of goals there. Now, as far as like challengers calling you out, is there if somebody does challenge you, is there a certain time limit or time frame that you have before you accept the challenge, or how does that work?
Good question. Ultimately, it's the like I had a bunch of people, you know how the internet is. People they message, so there's a bunch of people that obviously want fights, but they have no name and they don't have any pedigree. But ultimately, the decision goes to the MTBF, the Myanmar Traditional Boxing Federation, like the old federation. They're a bunch of respectable older gentlemen, and they basically, that's funny. That's a very good question, Joe, because one of my fights with Tuntumin, which was the biggest fight in the sport of Lethwei, was our third fight together, and he challenged me while I was on tour for a fucking seminar tour. So I was in Norway, and then I received that in the newspaper, everybody's like, okay, Tuntumin challenged you for a rubber match, a third fight, and it's gonna be because he's been recuperating for the last 2 years because I fucked up his knee in our second fight. So he's like he wants to fight you, and you have to accept that, otherwise we're taking away your belt. So I received an official. I never really spoke about that. I received an official stamped letter from the MTBF in Burmese, and they said, "Well, shout out CBD, I love it." They said you have to fight, otherwise we're stripping you. I'm like, I worked too hard for this. I have to. So I had a 3-week camp for this fight.
No shit.
Came back from Norway and right away to Dubai at the time, and I went right away for training. And
So if you have, let's say, all right, so say 2 weeks, you train, you fight this guy, you beat him, somebody else steps up and they approve it. How does that work? Another 2 weeks of training?
Yeah, that's the thing. I said, guys, I'm in a seminar tour. Can you wait? I'll fight him in January. I'll be ready. I'll have a month of 2 months of training. And I thought they were going to be understanding, and they say, well, it's the rule. It's a tradition you have to accept. Wow. So obviously he had a bigger pool because he used to be champ, for many years. So, but if a random Joe from Nebraska wants to challenge, they're not gonna take it. They don't give a shit. But
right.
yeah, it was a hard moment for me. I was feeling emotional in my eyes. I was like, fuck, man, I have to do this. And it was kind of my not kryptonite, but I was fearing that rematch again because we fought twice in 2016, won the belt. He got 2 years ACL surgery, and then he's like, okay, I'm ready to fight you again. I'm like, fuck, okay. And I know how hard he punches, right? So I'm like, okay, let's fucking do this. I was ready to die in the ring, man.
Wow.
And, and just to come back to what I was gonna say, guys, and I think you can follow me on this. When I said, back in the days, the open weight guys, they used to accept all the challenges from all the other countries, to Uzbekistan, fucking Russia, everywhere. The misconception about this, for example, especially me, I'm 6'2", right? It's like, okay, you're tall, you can it's an advantage. Well, it's an advantage for a few on the outside a little bit, but the way I fight, my coach always told me, I fight like a short man. So I go on the inside. I like to go in the clinch, and that's where the elbows are there, the headbutts are there, and the tricky part is to fight a Burmese that's been growing up learning headbutts all his life with and generational fighters. And a shorter guy has his forehead right on your chin, right? If I want to headbutt the guy, I have to drop my level and then headbutt. So it's twice as long for me to headbutt a shorter man. So my easiest fight was, for example, when I fought a heavyweight kickboxing guy. He was 6'3", it was a bit higher than me. But for me, it was for the first, not the first time, but okay, I can headbutt without having to drop my level. The hardest fight was against 5'10", 5'11" guys. especially in the
Dave, I got a question for you. Did you watch the Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone fight?
Yes, I commented on it too. Fuck.
Okay. Now walk me through that round. They came together, and then Conor kind of jumped up with the shoulder, right? Hit him in the face a few times.
Yeah,
And then
that was good.
Yeah,
I think it was well done, and he played along the rules of the unified MMA rule, right? So,
right.
But obviously, I think I made a post about this, and I said like it would have been so much more fighting realistic to have a headbutt there, right? But a shoulder, I practice that all the time, and it's just that if I have the choice between a nice headbutt on the chin or on the nose, I'm gonna go for this. But yeah, I was well placed. Props to him. I just like ranted a bit about saying like fuck, let's get the headbutts in, right?
Yeah. We'll have to ask him, see what he thinks about headbutts.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I posted my last post because there was a head clash with Cejudo and Cruz, right? There was a head clash, and it's a big deal. Like every time, even in boxing, it's a big deal. Oh, there's a head clash. Even some guys, stop the fight because it's a head clash. That's it. I'm cut. I don't want to fight. So, for me, I feel like it's such a natural tool in fighting. In boxing, even Tyson was getting cut, and with I think it was Holyfield or something was head clash. It's like if you remove that part of striking, it makes it a bit like less permissive, and that's what I like about Lethwei. Right. It's the most permissive stand-up art.
One of our viewers said the banana tree never stood a chance.
Yeah, fucking cost me $100 to get it. Like I went to the owner of an older gentleman. He's like, I want to kick the tree. I want to punch the tree. He's like, okay, well, it's my bananas. I asked my translator, it's like, how much does he want? I'll pay it. I'll pay him, right? So give him $100, and I filmed the video.
Dude, that was incredible, man. I mean, you chopped the shit out of that thing. So, what gave you that idea though to do that? Was it just to just toughen up your hands and your elbows and your head, because you headbutt that thing too? Yeah,
because people, a lot of people kick it, and I feel like it's try to be black sheep, a bit different. Everybody kick it. It's quite malleable. It's not a bamboo tree, right?
Right.
But if you use your hands and you use your it's a bit more challenging to use your hands than to use only your legs, because legs is a big limb. It's a very heavy thing. We had Buakaw doing this with his kicks, right? And so if we're gonna talk about Lethwei, we're gonna do it with our hands, but. Talking about that, guys, I have a scoop for you guys. I have a scoop.
All right, fill us in.
It's gonna happen next year. The contract's not signed yet, but it's already, the parties already agreed on everything. And if he flakes out, well, he's fucking scared. So we're gonna do Lethwei against Muay Thai, and I was waiting to a good spot to announce it, but it's gonna be me and Buakaw, and I'm gonna do my first weight cut ever, because I don't give a shit about this. So, we're gonna do it, and that's the only thing I'm gonna say. I'll let the people talk, but it's
nice.
And it's gonna happen in early 2021. So
it's
gonna be a biggest striking event. Lethwei against Muay Thai.
Is it gonna be outside? Outside venue? Inside venue?
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a big stadium. I'm still talking with the guys, and
huge.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I'm gonna tell you guys.
I was gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you a question about him later in the show. What do you think? What do you think about the matchup?
I feel like obviously he has a great career. He has over 300 fights. Props to him. But I can see, like, for example, their team has not accepted no gloves, has not accepted headbutts. So I'm like, okay, so we're gonna fight, and we're gonna fight in a hybrid rule set that both party agrees. I can't say I can't respect his career. I think he has a tremendous pedigree, and it's just for me, I don't see him as as the head of Muay Thai, right? The most recognizable face of Muay Thai, and I'm the most recognizable face of Lethwei. So we're gonna kind of, I feel like we're kind of settling millennia old feud of Burma against Thailand, and for me it's
historic.
It's massive. Yeah, it's massive because, and it's nothing. it's important for me to talk about this, because without taking away nothing about to the Thai people, they were fucking lucky to have a green light while Myanmar was sanctioned by the U.S., sanctioned by the entire world, was under military rule. So now they were just like fucking in the shadow. They were not able to leave the country. I was not able to visit, and that's partly why I went to Thailand at first, because the visa was too hard to get. So now it's democratic. Now, Chris, Joe, you can come, get you a visa. It's done in 24 hours. That's like, boom, mind-blowing. So now, my job and the job of all the other Lethwei fighters is to show, look, if the role were inversed, and that's a massive point, if the roles were inversed, back in the days, would have Lethwei gyms around the world, would have a bunch of the UFC, Bellator guys, instead of repping BJJ and Muay Thai, it would be BJJ, wrestling, and Lethwei. Meaning like that's what it's gonna go back to that eventually, because head pressure in MMA is crucial, takedowns is crucial. I feel like fighting, the Lumpini style, which is great. It's a beautiful to see, fighting on your back leg like this, but it's not realistic for MMA. So I feel like Lethwei is the most efficient striking art for MMA, and that's we're gonna see that. Obviously, some guys are doing the Likamun. My brother Anla, he's the double champ at ONE FC. He's Burmese, and before his fight, he does the Likamun right before the fight. So it's cool to see it transcend the sport.
Bro, when they open up the beaches over here in Florida, I'm gonna be doing that on the beach.
My man, you have to film this, and I
will, dude. I will totally film it. I promise you. So speaking of Thailand, and I'm glad you brought up Thailand, because it was something that I heard, and I wanted to get it from you. Prison fights. That's real.
That was insane. Wow. That was fucked up. And
so, could you let the viewers know exactly what prison fights is in Thailand?
Okay. What do you know about it? Do you know
from my understanding is they let prisoners fight each other, and the winner gets time off their sentence.
Okay, it's not far from it. So It was guys in that had like either non-violent or violent crimes. So like murders, rape, drug trafficking, and basically they invite guys that are like rising in the sport, or they're I just messaged them, and eventually I got in. But basically, the prison fight is in partnership with a Thai correctional department of prison in the country, and they invite foreigners, not Thais. They invite foreigners to fight inside the prison against inmates that were previously fighters, and if the prisoner wins, they get sentence reduction. So it's fucked up, yeah. And if the only thing you win as a foreigner, you win like maybe a bit of money, but it's mostly pride. I did it for free.
You did it for free?
I paid, actually, not for free. It cost me $3,000. I went from my plane ticket, my hotel, I just did it because I knew that was like a lost saver, right? It's gonna put me on the map, and it did. So
wow.
So like, the guy I was fighting was there for 12 years for methamphetamine trafficking, so meth. Okay. And he was previously fighting in Rajamandhan, like a stadium in Thailand. Mm-hmm. He was fighting for many years, but then did some. He wanted the easy money, and he did some shit, so he went to prison. And I beat him up, and he was one of the few that didn't win. Like out of 10 fights, only two inmate lost, which was my guy. So
wow,
yeah, it was pretty badass.
Holy cow! So how did you So when you moved to Thailand, you heard about this, or did you know about this prior to going to Thailand?
So I watched a Vice documentary on YouTube, and they had one on. It was viral, like Vice prison fight, and I was like, holy shit, that's fucking cool! I want to do this. And I just fighting. I didn't know how I was gonna get in, so I started like fighting and racking up the wins, and then I see like this Estonian guy, Russian guy. He's the promoter, so I message him, and it was not easy. And back and forth, finally got in. Almost canceled on me. I said, no, man, I'm here. Already paid for my stuff. Like, let me in. And I'm glad I did, because since 2014, they didn't do another event. So that was the last one so far. And so yeah, it was insane. You go inside, there's 800 inmates, and they look at you like they want to stab you. And you go inside the metal door, the massive like iron door. You go inside, and then you're alone in the prison. You don't have your cell phone. They take away everything. You're away with your friend, and you need to go get ready, go put your gloves on, and go fight. That was a Muay Thai fight, right? And but this is crucial in my Lethwei journey, because if I didn't fight this fight, I would not have the contact. Because years later, when I was like, okay, I want to get a fight, I called the promoter, and the prison fight promoter, right? I said, so can you get me a fight? I know you have a lot of contacts. He's like, well, I don't promote Muay Thai anymore. I promote Lethwei. I'm like, what? Are you serious? That's my dream, to fight Lethwei, right? Says, oh, well, if you want, we have a fight for you. Nobody wants to fight him, and you're gonna fight Tutu in Myanmar. He's 36-0, undefeated in Lethwei rules, and
Tutu.
Yeah, Tutu. So I said, sign me up. Let's fucking do this, and the rest is history. So It was because of that prison fight promoter that I got in. Otherwise, I would probably not get a Lethwei fight that easily at first.
Wow, it's so crazy. Like, I talk to a lot of people, and I love hearing people's success stories. How they got to where they got. Man, I got to tell you, yours is like on up there on the top, man. That's pretty crazy, man. You get in a prison fight, and now you got your opportunity of a lifetime. And here you are. Holy
yeah, the thing is, like people that I was fighting Muay Thai, I was making $200 a month, probably $200 a fight. That was disgusting, right? So I was like, fuck, how can I get a better life? And at the time, I just met my wife, and she, she's Russian. She likes nice things, and I wanted to give her a good life. She's like, how we're gonna live? How we're gonna have kids or have a family on $200 a month, right? And that was a big hit to my ego, my manhood, right? So I'm like, I don't know how, but I'll make it happen. So I ring up my prison fight promoter and get me in, and it was.
So that's like $200 a month in Thailand.
It was $200 US, like a fight, I think. That's how.
Okay.
And that's the average, like maybe $500. Maybe you get maybe 1,000 if you fight like. A big name, but like you don't make there's not a lot of big money to be made in fights. Like you have to really live as like modestly, right? If you want to you make 1,000 there, you can live modestly, but you don't live the life. And that's what some of the guys are starting to realize, and that's good. Maybe a lot of your people ask you that. It's like, how much is the if you want to start fighting Lethwei, how much can people expect, right? So one of my guys fought Sanchai in Thai fight, right? Thai fight in Thailand. It's like the biggest promotion.
Okay.
It's like in Muay Thai, and I think he got $1,000 to fight Sanchai, who's the biggest name with Buakaw. They're the two biggest names in Muay Thai. Okay. And then I like his style, so I get him a fight in a festival. 2 hours, 3 hours outside of the city, non-televised. It was a free event. It was only, it was very raw, and no TV, no nothing. And I got him like $4,000, and it was his first Lethwei fight. So he fights the biggest name in Muay Thai, gets $1,000 on national TV in Thailand, or gets $4,000 fighting a good guy. But I mean, it was not televised. It was nothing, and not even in a promotion. So that's
I'll take 1,000.
Yeah, right. And he did a good fight. So yeah, there's less mouth to feed, like in Myanmar. So they pick and choose the fighters from, if you're fighting in kickboxing and fighting in Muay Thai, they're gonna pick you, and you can make more money there than you would fight in Muay Thai. So that's exciting for the future. They have deep pockets. Those guys, a lot of gold, a lot of gems in Myanmar. So they don't care. They just want, honestly, it's a fucking ego trip. Like Trump going for president, right? Once you have the money, you want the power. And like a lot of the promoters in Lethwei, they have the money already.
They want
the now they want the power. Look, I organized the biggest event. I organized the biggest. So it's part of the idea.
It's like a social status thing.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting. So power is I mean, actually, my cousin has a CBD oil business, and they actually broke ground in Thailand.
Oh, really?
They got like 36 acres of land out there, and I got to ask them where in Thailand. I'll find out for you. Okay. Nice. There's a university that also donated land to them to do all this building and stuff.
So weed, CBD is becoming legal there?
Yeah.
Interesting. It used to be outlawed. Is it still illegal, like to smoke?
So the way my cousin was explaining it to me, and I'm just going to paraphrase, but basically you need like 5 separate licenses in Thailand in order to operate a CBD business there, which is having the land, have the ability to do distribution, the labs, the labeling, the testing, all that. You need all these different licenses, but you also have to kind of have a connection with their government there. So you can't, just say, it's not like here, I'm just going to, sign some documents, open up a business, call it a day. Yeah. It's much different there. So only like certain businesses or certain companies are allowed to actually, grow there, operate, and then, sell. So, they were very fortunate. So they did a lot of business here, but it was funny when you say that, the status thing, because that's what my cousin was telling me, status is a big deal there in Thailand.
Yeah, big time. And it's funny you talk about CBD because I never smoked in my life. I never tried. And I started using CBD oil recently, and it's like a life-changing thing, right? And like before sleeping, it removes my inflammation. And so I see you guys promote it. So I suggest everybody to go get it, because it's especially if you're training hard, doesn't have to be fighting, but just training hard, it changes my recuperation.
Yeah, it's
my recovery. I'm French, right? I have an accent.
Hey man, I'm from Brooklyn. I got an accent too. So.
Yeah, you do. Sure, you do.
So Dave, did you ever try the edibles, the CBD edibles?
No, I need to try that.
Hop on that train, bro, because I actually just started eating the CBD edibles, man, and I just feel like the edibles kind of like give you more like your whole, you just feel it through your whole body. Even though there's no THC in it, you still feel that relaxed state from like the hemp plant.
Yeah.
And it's just great, man. I pop them at night, these little sour worm gummies. And dude, I'm within a half an hour, I'm flying.
Which one do you recommend?
The one my dad got me one. I would say my cousin's company, Hemp Boca. Theirs are really good.
Okay.
And I'll send you the link. So if you want to order any, I'll see if he'll send you some stuff.
Nice. Yeah. So that was we're talking about like there's actually more like wealth in Asia, like so how do you feel going there, is knowing they can throw headbutts in your face? That's gonna be that's one of the things when you go in, it's like I said that a lot, like before you go to the ring, it's like going bungee jumping. Have you tried bungee jumping?
I've jumped out of an airplane.
Okay, well, before you go, you're like, fuck, like your body's trying to stop you from going outside of the airplane. It's like, don't jump, right? Or don't do because it's not natural. And fear is a big part of my preparation, because I embrace it. I don't shy away from it. Like I know that, okay, the guy not only wants to hurt you, but he wants to hurt you without any gloves. He wants to hurt you with headbutts in the clinch. He wants to. So he's like, I really feel like a real threat, and I want to protect my wife. I want to keep my status, because if the challenger gets you, he goes away with all your status, your income, so it's like it's a big fucking mental warfare.
You're fighting for a lot more than just a fight,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a bunch of young lions, like I say, that come that want to get you, but yes, that's a good question.
I got some more too for you. Kevin Smith, what does Dave think of BKFC? Would he ever fight in the squared circle bare knuckle?
Okay, so the BKFC is the one in the States, right? There's one in Europe as well.
There's BKB there. Bare knuckle fighting championships, the big one in the United States. That's
I heard of it. I love the fights. I see what the show they put on. Good production. Good. Everything. It looks cool. It doesn't look. I don't know. It doesn't look cheap. It looks very well done show. So I props to them. As far as fighting there, like for me, my passion is to fight with all the limbs. Like I love to kick. I love to elbows. I love to knee. Grab the back of the head and pull the head down and get the good knee in the face. So that's a big part of my fighting game. And I actually I don't. Is he part of the organization, or is just a fan?
Kevin Smith, yeah, he's a part of the organization.
Okay, so sorry, I didn't know, but basically, no. I've been. A lot of people ask me these things, but I'd be more interested into, doing a return in MMA. and then and like keep my full striking, because what I like about Lethwei is that all the striking is allowed, so I don't have any restrictions on this apart from the ground and pound and everything. So if I would do another discipline, I would probably go to MMA.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So like
But
MMA,
I really love it, and I'm a big supporter. And if I ever go in the States and there's a show, you guys have hooked me up with good seats. I love the heart. The guys are fighting, and there's blood. I saw one of the videos the other day, and I think it was you guys posting it. It was a good punch, and the blood splashed on the screen. That was fucking cool.
yeah.
The blood went on the lens, so I was like, okay, that's cool. So big shout out to the guys organizing and the guys fighting in there. So yeah.
Yeah, that was Abby Velasquez and Dat Nguyen. They were
that's
fight. So I was there live.
Okay.
It was unbelievable, man.
And the guy with the camera was right at the right spot at the right time, got the blood on his lens. But me, I feel like if I would do this, I would have like bad reflexes, do a big elbow, and after a hook, you do an elbow, or I do an uppercut, then I land my headbutt. So I feel I would get disqualified.
So I got some more too. Actually, it's a good one. Sheena's got another good one too. Speaking with athletic commissioners with the legalization of the sport you compete in, many are all for it, but don't want the headbutts included. Do you feel as a competitor, the sport would be in the United States different if headbutts were taken out of question?
Another great question. So I made a lot of statements that like it doesn't matter if Lethwei is legalized everywhere. Like even MMA was not until recently in France, for example, and even Muay Thai they have to fight with elbow pads, right? So I don't expect Lethwei to be legal everywhere. And the goal is to be able to train it everywhere. So I'm working on my affiliation. I have 4 gyms around the world: one in Iceland, New York, Austin, Texas, and Los Angeles. So we're starting to build the affiliated schools with my curriculum of Lethwei. And as long as the guys can train it, they can go fight in Myanmar. They can go fight in Japan. They can go fight for the WLC. So there's a lot of opportunities for them. I mean, for medical boxing, for Lethwei, we can't expect all the provinces, the states around the world to legalize it, the countries to legalize it. So I'm already happy that there's been Lethwei shows in like Slovakia, in Singapore, Taiwan, Tokyo, Japan. So it's already doing very well. So if some states are more permissive, well, they're going to benefit from good tourism. They're going to benefit from income. So it's an advantage to allow it, because why not? I actually don't see why even outlaw any fighting sport if the guys are consensual, they're training for it, they're professionals, and they're testing. So what's the big deal, right? So in Canada, you can't fight full on striking, but you can fight MMA, right? So there's a bunch of things that annoys me, and that's why I became an expat.
Now, speaking of the United States, previously I heard that there's a possibility Miami.
Yeah. They want to do it in a notorious, like a cool spot, right? We can do it in the middle of the states, not to take anything away from any other states, but I feel like the hubs like New York, Florida, California. I don't know what's the rules, so it would be more glamorous to do it there, And so I personally love Miami and Florida or anywhere, Tampa. I don't know, but let's fucking make it happen. I know the WLC is working hard at it, and guess who's gonna be on the fucking main event?
That's right, the King Leduc, baby.
The Duke.
That's right, man. And I will be there, man. If that shit goes down in Miami, bro, you bet your ass I will be there.
I hook you guys up for sure. I'll take care of you guys, and it's gonna be historical, right? Because it's a 2,000-year-old sport, only been practiced and fought in Asia, and now that's a big leap. That's a massive thing. I know a bunch of Canadians already, like radio stations already planning. They told me we're gonna do contests. We're gonna fly a plane there. So whatever it is, there's gonna be a lot of action.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be like a Dwayne Johnson movie. That's what it sounds like to me, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I got this one too. Kevin Smith actually has this is interesting. I think you'd like this. How would my gym, the Smith Brothers Combat Sports, be able to teach your curriculum and become an official training center in Tampa?
That's a great question. So basically, I already did a few U.S. tour. I did a full U.S. tour and a few two world tours. And right now I kind of started the blueprint of my affiliate. So if you see my shirt, I don't know if you see it, but yeah. So there's the logo is 2 double L's, the Leduc Lethwei, and basically we have. And I don't want to brag, but when I did a seminar, when I do a seminar and people are really liking it, and they obviously let's say it's just because of the sport is cool. It's not just because the guy giving it is amazing, but every time
like me, bro. Me and you get along.
No, but let's fuck. My coach always told me, shout out to my coach, he said, being humble sucks. Well, it's, but basically I did the seminars and a bunch of them asked, how can we represent your brand and your curriculum? And I had to put a hold on that because it was very hard to control, like, to expand very fast. And so I had a few people that I get along with in one in Manhattan, New York, Anderson Martial Art. And, we started there, and then we have in Texas as well, South Austin Gym, and then in California and Los Angeles we have Elite Training Center, and in Reykjavik, Iceland, I have Iceland Combat Arts. So those 4 gyms right now are just, they reserve their territory, and when it's gonna be like, okay, I'm ready to worldwide expansion, I'm attacking. I'm aiming to the number of the Gracie. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu has maybe, I think, 200 schools, 200 affiliated schools around the world.
Huge.
Yeah, so I want to beat that, and because they're they have a grappling curriculum. So now we're gonna beat them with the Lethwei curriculum, which, not in only my opinion, but in many people's opinion, it's the most complete striking art. So to answer Kevin's question, I'd be happy to go. Give a seminar, get along, get to know each other, and maybe in the future we can work that out. But it's going to happen because seeing what you guys know, it's seeing what we see about the world right now. Everything's going online, right? So I want people to be able to have access to Lethwei at a simple click. And the fucking crazy thing about Lethwei is there's nothing written. Everything is word of mouth from generation to generation. Wow. Even in Burmese language, it's like extremely rare to find a piece of paper with techniques on it. So I'm in the process of perfecting the entire curriculum with the stuff that I like to do, and I successfully did in fights. So that's why it's Leduc Lethwei, my style.
We'll do.
Because and again, but a lot of the Burmese guys, and I really respect the shit out of the way they fight. They go in the pocket and they swing it out a bit like in BKFC, and it's fucking great. There's a lot of cuts, and there's a lot of in the Burmese side, it goes down. It kind of gives short careers in a way. You're scar tissue in the face and everything. So when I came in, I wanted to make sure that I can control the fight, control the pace of the fight. So I use my push kicks. I use my elbows more than the Burmese guys use a lot of their hands. Sometimes you have broken hands. I don't know if did it happen in BKFC? Some guys with broken hands, for sure.
Quite a few. Like we were talking about earlier, when that guy drops his head and your fist hits it,
for sure,
it's a break, man.
Yeah. Even you wrong spot at wrong time. So like I said, massive respect to the guys. Probably we're maybe going to see some of the guys one day, if crossing over to maybe get a Lethwei fight. Who knows?
Dude, these guys are girls that fight bare knuckle. No disrespect to any combat sport, but I just personally know a lot of the bare knuckle fighters, and
it's a big heart.
They're down, man. They're down to fight. Chase Sherman actually just had a win last night at the UFC Fight Pass.
Who?
Chase Sherman, the Vanilla Gorilla, bro. He was the opening fight. He's the former heavyweight champion bare knuckle. He lost the title to Joey Beltran about 6 months ago or so. And now he just took another fight. I think he had like a 2 or 3 year hiatus from UFC, and he won the fight last night. So these guys and girls are down, bro. They're just ready to scrap.
Amazing. Yeah. Looking good.
Well, I got a few questions for the king.
What did you say?
I got a few questions for the king.
Let's do it.
We're gonna do 5 questions. I'm gonna say a name. Just give a couple word definition or how you feel about this person or whatnot. Okay.
All right. What are you gonna do here? What are you gonna do?
You know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
All right. Mike Tyson.
Okay. Beast. I really. I think he was. Again, you can see from that you don't have to be taller and because he was sometimes shorter than some of the guys. and he reminds me actually one of my opponents, Tuntun Min, that I fought many times. Very like a bull, goes inside and goes, and with just that he was not able to do headbutts like Tuntun Min, but love his career, respect him. I kind of hope he doesn't fight again because leave your legacy intact. But whatever he feels like doing, respect to him.
That's right. Okay. The second one, Conor McGregor.
Definitely did a lasting impression on MMA, so we have to respect that very well. And for me, the defining moment was when he did that fast KO against Aldo. So I think that was needed for him to solidify his brand. So good for him. Honestly, I wish, because I like to be provocative as well, right? Like I don't mind speaking my mind. I just wish that we didn't, I guess I don't know why. I wish you didn't have to be in trouble with the law. That's the only thing. I don't like that. Like, you can be provocative, you can do cool things and shock the world, maybe without getting hurting other people, especially old gentlemen. But I guess at one point sometimes some substance can go to your. I don't know. I don't drink personally, so I can't tell. I don't drink anymore. But if we talk about the fighting part, I respect him as a fighter. Hopefully he doesn't get into trouble too much.
Right. All right. We got 3 more. Master Kung Lee.
Kung Lee. Well, he's been. I don't believe in idolizing anybody because I believe that everybody is human and everybody goes to the toilet and does diarrhea. Like everybody's fucking normal, right? Like, so when people ask me, who's your idol? I don't have any. I love me and I want to be the best version of myself. But I can say that Kung Lee was I was looking at his clips, I was watching his videos, and I really think he made me want to perfect all the throws because I think he's one of the greats to ever do all these sweeps and all these takedowns. So you're really a true master of the craft. And shout out to you, Kung, and I really really great career. I saw when I was there, I saw his belt, Strikeforce belt, and that was a cool piece of memorabilia. Right,
middleweight, 185 middleweight.
Never gonna see that one again. So
yeah. Definitely. Okay, we got 2 more. Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, well, he's part of kind of my lineage because my Sifu, I started in Sanda as well. So actually, before even knowing Kung Lee, they actually invited him for seminars in Canada. So I wasn't there. I didn't. But basically, we're part of a Kung Fu lineage, and the coach of my coach was trained by one of the students of Bruce Lee, James DeMiles, and basically. So I have to respect. I just feel like it would have been nice to see him fight professionally, but I think at the time it wasn't available as much as now. I'm sure he would have done well. So I really like the way he would. I think he was and again, maybe I can retract what I said. You don't have to be the greatest fighter to be the best coach as well. So he had a very great philosophies of the. So he kind of forged the way we fight nowadays, right? With the 5 ways of attack, simple indirect attack. You have to program the brain. So he has a lot of concepts that I really love, and
very good. Last one.
Good long answers, huh?
No, I love it. It's good.
No, that's the way to go, man.
It's great. The last one. John Bones Jones.
So John, you really, I think he has one of the most great, one of the, if not the best pedigree in MMA, right? So it's amazing what he's done in light heavyweight. We kind of had some back and forths on social media because he liked a bunch of my videos, and so and he's a good guy. I can see he's like because I said some posts. I said I want to. Who wants it, right? Who wants it? Whatever. He's like, not me, especially not on the feet, And we know that John is a great striker as well. So it was it's kind of funny, and I can see he's humble as well. So he doesn't, when you have nothing to prove, you don't feel the need to put down anybody. And so I since that day I respect him because he showed me some love. So and I wish him only the best. I don't know if the heavyweight fight's going to happen, but. if it does, I think he's way faster. He's way more efficient than And
Yeah,
again,
he said he wanted to get a catch weight at 220, an exhibition heavyweight match.
And then Nagano, I guess.
Yeah, but speed is way more important than power. Like, I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm 180 pounds, right? And Bass said that I broke his pad. I actually ripped his pad, and he said, "Well, man, that was the strongest elbows you ever felt in my life." I'm like, "Thank you," but you don't have to have like extreme amount of weights to be efficient in fighting. And I think at light heavyweight, or maybe even at 180 to light heavyweight, whatever, I feel like you have the strength to compete against bigger opponents. And you also have a better chance of lasting longer because you have less weight, So I think that weight class, and my weight class is like, it's made for fighting, because too light, maybe you're not as powerful, you're not as strong, you can't wrestle as much. Too heavy, you get exhausted faster. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
I got a quick last question. Sorry, Joe. I know we're running a little late, but how would you fare versus John Jones stand up?
Stand up
versus Bones.
That's a good question.
I'm actually, like I said, I'm training with the boys right now, and so I'm working on my wrestling. I always had, my first love was grappling, so I did a lot of competition in grappling back in the days, and I just had to work on my in between, right? The scrambling, on the way down and stuff like that. So that part I'm working on, but striking wise, like, I think the best answer I could ever come up with was comes from my Sifu, because one of his training partner, his brother-in-law, they used to have a school together in Canada, right? They opened up a kung fu school in Canada, and I asked him, who would have won between you and Stefan, right? And who would have won between the two? And he's like, Dave, that's a good question. I don't know. I just know that it would be a fucking war. It would be a bloodbath, and I don't want to know. So, it would be ugly. He said it would be ugly. So again, two professional guys in striking, I know that would be an ugly fight. There would be blood, and I don't know the answer, but I know that I'm confident, and I don't. In order to fight any sport, I think you have to be confident in who you are and what you can bring to the table. Otherwise, you should get the fuck out of here, because you're not at the right place. You have to. You have to believe you're the best. Otherwise, you're already lost.
And you are the best.
Thank you. You guys are the best.
The king, baby. The king.
By the way, I want to say
so much.
You guys are really the best at reporting MMA. I showed my wife. She's like, "Oh, what's your podcast you're gonna do tonight?" I saw it with Joe and Chris, and I showed them your page, and 10,000 posts. You guys are amazing. Holy shit.
I'm busy.
I don't know how you guys do this, but you keep killing it, because you're the authority in MMA for me.
Thank you, King.
And not only MMA, but any sport, and now Lethwei. So
we're big fans. Last thing, I got Joe. Smith Brothers Combat Sports, MMA Uncensored is going to be a part of that gym. We're going to have our own office there.
Nice.
So when and if you do come to see me and Kevin Smith, we'll be there too to see you. And I look forward to meeting you one day.
Amazing. Tell him I'm more than happy to. I think the best way to see if it fits in the gym, and see if I know it does, but the best way to would be to do a first historical seminar, because I've never done a Lethwei seminar in Florida, so that would be the first in the state. And I've been kind of racking up these seminar, the first in the state of New York, the first in the state of Indiana, the first in the state of California. So if he wants to host the first Lethwei seminar in the state of Florida, well, it's in the pocket.
Okay. We'll talk.
Awesome, man.
Thank you, King.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. And
Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
We're when we have more thing, when shit starts again, right? We can when there's maybe the date for WLC and the Lethwei in the States, we can talk more in the future.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be great.
All right.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Show me your Likamun, guys, and we finish on this.
Left hand, right?
For people at home, you put your left hand under your right armpit.
There we go. Right.
So left. Let's see. I'm in a ball right now, so I can't. I show you. I can't.
I'm doing it.
So you put your left hand here, then your right hand like a cup, right? And then you smash your shoulder, the hole here, your elbow, 3 times, and then basically that's like an invitation to fight. You like, let's fucking do this. You do this to fight. Okay, 1, 2.
Woo! Dude, my
That's
arm
awesome.
hurt from you doing it.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Thanks,
man.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you,
Pleasure.
brother.
Peace.
The King.
That was a blast.
The King, man. What a great guy. What a great dude to talk to, man.
Whew. I want to get deeper into the prison fight.
Yo, the prison fight is badass, man. Man, I mean, dudes are getting time off their sentence for this shit. That's crazy, bro.
And he paid $3,000 to get involved or whatever, and won.
And he won, and that was his road to success. That's how he got that connection to get into Lethwei.
Yeah.
And that was his dream, to fight Lethwei. So unbelievable, man.
Self-made, Joe. Self-made.
That's the way to do it. Like he said a lot of good things. And my favorite thing that he said this entire podcast, and I thought the whole thing was interesting, was the fact that don't be like, you want to be the black sheep. You don't want to be the regular sheep that are around. You know, people do things the way you're told to do things, and he's doing things totally differently. So that's how I live my life, man.
Right.
So God bless him. Great. I loved it. So, and speaking of success, we have our second hour guest here that's on deck. She's in the green room right now, and she's ready to pop up. Playboy model, 3-time All-Star cheerleader, the one and only Holly Joanne, or Holly Joe. What's up, Holly?
Hello.
Let's see. Oh, can you unmute your mic, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we go. Perfect. How are you doing there?
Hello.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good, thank you.
It's podcast night. We're doing awesome tonight.
Yeah, we're jamming. We're jamming.
So we had a really, by the way, this is Chris. He's the CEO of MMA Uncensored.
Nice to meet you. We've DM'd a few times.
Oh, fantastic.
I was telling her, Joe, on DM, she's the most polite, professional person we've ever worked with. She's real. I mean, she's.
I'm real and I'm here.
Yeah, available.
Live and in person.
Wants to promote. I mean,
yeah. It was kind of funny story before we went live today. We had some tech issues that we were dealing with, which, you know, we got to always make sure technology is on our side. So we worked very hard, and Holly, you were very professional, and I'm glad that you know, we got everything taken care of. So
I love technology, you know.
So you have a very interesting life, you know, and I follow you on Instagram, and you're very successful, and I really appreciate successful people, and that's why we always reach out to people that are successful, that are doing their own thing, and going against the grain, and obviously, you've been in Playboy, you've been a 3-time All-Star cheerleader, and that was at UAC. What is that? University of
UCLA?
No, unfortunately, not UCLA. It's UCA. So
UCA. Arkansas, right?
No. It's it actually stands for the Universal Cheerleading Association of America, and so it's a completely separate organization. It's like not affiliated with any school or anything like that. It's a separate organization for like just cheerleading across the whole state. So it's nationwide. So yeah.
How old were you when you first started cheerleading?
I was in high school. So my freshman year of high school, I started. At the time, there wasn't really a cheerleading group for junior high at the time. So some schools, have them, some schools don't. So I didn't get that privilege, but started when I was in high school. So go Warriors.
Go Warriors.
42 Warriors, actually. Yeah, it was great. So that's where I got my start with cheerleading. And, it's just one of those things that I was like, I was obviously good. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it was something that I had a passion for because it's just, I really love dance, and I really liked, like the movement and, dancing to 8-count dances and just performing. And it kind of encompassed everything that I grew up doing and loving. And so when I cheered all through high school. So I did football, basketball, and wrestling, cheerleading.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I did all three sports, and all three were great. I do have to say though, I did love football just because of the ambiance of being like on the field and everything. That was awesome. But I really liked wrestling cheerleading, and the reason why I really liked it was because you got to pound on the floor, and you got to do these really awesome beats on, you know, just like the gymnasium floor, and it sounded so cool. And it was kind of like an a cappella group sound, but it wasn't like with voices. It was with cheerleading and like literally just using your hands and pounding on the floor. It was really cool. So that was actually really fun, surprisingly. Yeah. But anyways, so I actually tried out for, well, actually, let me take this a little bit back. So yeah, so organization as a whole. So it's kind of, I want to put this into perspective a little bit. So it's obviously not on the level of like MLB or baseball, but when I like talk about it, I can kind of like, it's similar in a way where, you know, like, they take like the best baseball players from each team, and then they end up, you know, on the, you know,
The All-Star game.
For the All-Star game. Yeah. So it's similar to that where, so schools around the country will actually show up at these events, or the places that are holding these competitions, and the organization is hosting these gatherings, so to speak. And so each school actually, multiple girls from each school can try out or choose to try out to make UCA and to make this organization to be an all-star, which I think now it's actually switched. Now I think it's called All-American, but basically same thing. So you only have a few days. You learn the whole routine. You have to compete individually. So you learn this whole dance routine. I think you have maybe a couple hours out of like 3 days to learn this whole routine and whatnot. And yeah, so I did it every year. It was, you know, really nerve-wracking. You're just lined up in front of this panel. You're lined up, it's like you and like, you know, a different girl from a school and a different girl from a school, and you're, you know, they rotate you out and they do lines and stuff like that. And then basically you're just sitting there performing solo, and you're trying to make this team. And I was lucky enough to make 3 years in a row. So
wow,
something that's really special to me. I don't have my medals with me, but I have 3 medals. It's great.
That is amazing stuff. And what is really incredible to me is not the fact that you won, you know, you got these 3 medals, but the fact that you started cheerleading in high school. A lot of kids start very, very young and then they develop. So that's
right.
What made you decide, like, all right, you know what, I'm just going to try out for high school and see what happens? Like, did you have any like gymnastic experience or anything like that?
I actually don't have any gymnastic experience at all. I always wish that my mom put me in gymnastics and dance and stuff like that, but I wasn't in professional dance or anything like that. But it was something that my sister and I would do growing up. We would always just, I don't know, like when you're kids, you know, you do a lot of crazy stuff. So we would, one of the things, we would just put dance routines together and have fun with it. So yeah, so we just started there, and then it was just something that I wanted to do. So, and it's another, you don't need professional, or not professional, but even as a kid, like you don't need, you know, to attend dance to be, you know, to make it somewhere in your life. You know, like you don't need,
Sure.
I wasn't in dance.
I didn't go to broadcasting school.
Yeah, I mean, you can still make it in whatever you want to achieve. You can still do it, even if you don't have a history of something or a background. As long as you're passionate and you're committed to whatever you want to do, you can achieve it, and you can go for it, and you can get it. So
I agree with that 1,000%. I couldn't have said it any better. That's perfectly said. So.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. We got the cheerleading thing. Did you play any sports at all when you were a kid or anything like that?
I actually, believe it or not, I played. Well, I didn't actually play for very long, but I played a little basketball.
Okay.
My dad had really high hopes for me, and he thought that I would continue to play basketball for, you know, many years to come. But I forget what it was called. It's there, like our school, our community school group in Portage. They had they held these little competitions for young kids where you can go that you can show up in. It was just strictly this one was strictly basketball related. And, you know, you can sit there and you can do, they have competitions where you can sit there and dribble between cones and, you know, try to, you know, do a slam dunk or whatever it may be. So
it's like a little camp to see how good you are.
Basically, yeah. And I walked away with like a first place trophy. And my dad, my dad was like, "Oh, she's going to be great. She's going to play basketball. It's going to be great." You know, but unfortunately, I did not actually continue playing basketball or any sport like that. It was just, I continued on the dance route and then the cheerleading route. And that was really fun for me. I really like dancing. So, that's why I ended up with cheerleading, because there's a difference between actual dance. Well, there's actually millions of different types of dance, but let's be real. But cheerleading dancing is it's so pristine and it's very sharp, and it's very much to the beat of the music, and that's something that I really like. Like, you can just go out there and you can just kill a routine and you can just like power it out, and you just feel like so awesome at the end of it. Even a halftime routine, like, it just feels great. So I don't know. That's
Did you see that show on Netflix, Cheer?
I haven't. No, I didn't even. Wait, there's a show. Oh, wait, I need to add this to my Netflix binge list.
Yes, I'm gonna hook you up right now since you're talking about cheerleading. So there's it's like a, you know, reality show. It's based on these professional cheerleaders, these girls that go to ESPN and stuff, like, and they handpick certain families and they watch their travels, you know, how they get ready, how they prepare from, you know, from home to packing up to training to traveling to getting there and doing the whole thing. So yeah, it's called Cheer. It's on Netflix. I think you would like it.
I think I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah. You talk about all this cheerleading, you must. And you're 3-time All-Star.
I'll have a nostalgic moment.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Somebody that I know, their daughter is like I forget her name, but she's super popular. She's got like over 1 million followers on IG. She's a professional cheerleader. And yeah, she's on the show too. So pretty cool to see.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So all right, so we got childhood, we got basketball, didn't really work out too well, but you were very good. Then we transitioned to high school cheerleading, and you're a 3-time All-Star. So, and you got first place in basketball. So it seems like you're a natural, whatever you pick up. You know, it seems like that's the trend that we have here.
Yeah, not in everything. I can't say that in everything, but probably just the stuff we're talking about.
Well, that's the whole point, right?
Overall, the other stuff it was a tragic moment for me. Yeah.
So how did Playboy come about? Was that because of cheerleading and that transition, or what's that backstory about?
It actually was completely separate from cheerleading. So I know everybody remembers the show Girls Next Door.
Yes.
Okay, so I would actually watch that when I was in high school. And, you know, I loved, you know, Holly, Bridget, Kendra. You know, I would always, you know, my parents weren't really on the supportive end of the whole Playboy thing. So I would wait until it came out on like DVD, and I was, you know, kind of scandalous. I would sit there and I would get the DVD at like, you know, Family Video or whatever it was. And then I would sit there and watch it. Actually, I watched with my sister, who would sit there and watch it. And I became like a fan. And then, you know, of course, over the years, towards the end of high school, it was just something that I really wanted to do. And it was like, I want to do, you know, one of the main three, you know, Playboy, Sports Illustrated, or Maxim. That was like my top three. And I'm like, you know, I want to do one of those three. And I just felt really strongly about it. And it wasn't like something that, you know, was like an epiphany one day, you know, like, oh, I want to be in Playboy. No. Mm-hmm. It was just something that gradually gained my interest over the years in high school. And then by the end of high school, I was like, okay, I want to do one of the top three at least. So fast forward into, this was after, you know, cheerleading all-star and everything like that. This was, I was attending school actually in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And I remember I was sitting in the place that I lived at, and I was just on my laptop, and I'm just like, okay, like, I am gonna Google and like how to be a playmate, you know, like how original, right? So, and I can't even remember what thread or what website I ended up coming on, but I think it was on some like message thread that I mean, I was searching through like the depths of the internet. Like I ended up on some random thread. I can't even tell you, it was so long ago. But I came across this information that somebody had posted. Maybe it was another, I can't remember if it was another like playmate or someone who, you know, shot at the mansion or whatever. But it was basically, you know, like the steps of like how you even get it, how does that even become a thing? Right. And it was basically like, okay, well, you need, you know, this information, you need your driver's license, a photo of it so that they know you're not under 18, you know, that's very important. And then you need, you know, you need to take photos of yourself, like in the nude. So you need like, you know, your headshot, you need your full frontal, full back, and all, you know, you take photos and then you basically, you know, mail it to this address, which was, it was to the editor of the Studio West, Playboy Studio.
God. Wow. This guy is getting naked pictures all day.
Naked pictures all day. But wow. It's not how everybody makes it in Playboy. This was just one avenue is what I had discovered. Because when I actually got to Playboy, and I was getting my makeup and hair done before my shoot, I was speaking with, gosh, I can't remember her name. She was a Ford model, and she was older, and I think she said that she was Elvis Presley's like ex-girlfriend or something. And I want to say her name was Lisa, but anyways, that's not important. But she was saying to me that a lot of other people, they'll get into Playboy because they do like these contests that they hold and things like that, whether it's in person or on the, you know, internet or whatever. And she's like, the way that you did it was the way to go. You know, like basically you want to kind of just like force them to look at your face. And and that you want to mail basically you in there because they're going to sit there. It's so easy if you have like something online to just bypass and be like, oh, whatever, next girl. But if you actually, I wrote a letter, I had my photos in there. I literally physically mailed this to Playboy. Wow. And that when they got it, they had to open it and read it and look at my photos and that. It's harder to get rid of that. What are they going to do? Burn it? So, so apparently that worked because, so it actually happened really quickly. So I had mailed in, you know, the stuff. They got it. And then a week later, it was 1 week, they called me and I thought it was a fake phone call. And I was like, Lord, I'm like, this is a prank phone call. I'm like, there's no way this is Playboy calling me.
Did you tell anybody that you were applying to try to get into Playboy?
I didn't tell a single soul that I sent a letter in.
Oh, okay.
I knew I sent this letter in except for myself. Wow. And so, I mean, obviously I mentioned it to, you know, once I got the phone call because it was more of like is this a legitimate phone call? And I remember it was Stacy. Actually, I'm still in contact with her today, but it was Stacy. She's like, oh, hi, this is Stacy from, you know, Playboy Enterprises. And we got your letter and we're really interested. We want to fly you out here to shoot or whatever. And I'm just like, this is not a real phone call. So they apparently saw my stuff. They, you know, they were interested in me. So they, after that phone call, they had emailed me a bunch of stuff like an itinerary. They emailed me, you know, here's your flight information, you know, here's the whole deal, you know, here's your shoot, your initial shoot date, all the information that you'd ever want to know from, you know, Playboy, all the rules of the mansion. I got everything emailed to me. It was it's so surprising, but, and even then, like I was like, I'm very trusting in people. Like I always see the good in people first. But I mean, that kind of a thing, I was like, and I'm like, is this not real? I'm like, is this email? I'm like, what if I was constantly looking for like the clause, like the fine print, like this isn't real. But it ended up being real. So they, you know, had a driver pick me up at the airport.
Oh, so you actually went to the mansion?
Yes, I was at the mansion. Correct.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh, I have so many stories.
Tell me a story. Tell me a good one.
Oh gosh, Oh, here's one. Okay, so, well, I mean, I don't even know if this is a good story, but it's a story, and nonetheless.
It's a story from the mansion, so it's got to be good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, whatever. I have so many stories, but this is just one of them that I think people will find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody who knows me knows that I like to eat food. I mean, you always see those models that are, oh, I'm starving, or I have to fit into this size, or they're very like clean eating. And don't get me wrong, like I support clean eating. I think it's healthy, if you're trying to trim down or you just want to have a healthy body, like, yes, eating clean is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm from Wisconsin. Okay, we're the dairy state.
Yeah, the cheeseheads, baby. Come on now.
Cheeseheads, yeah. But we eat here. So I'm used to eating, okay? And we eat like good food. Like this is Midwestern food. Like this is, a thing. So it was funny because the day that I arrived, I think it was like mid-afternoon, and this driver, I was still, I was actually interviewing this driver to get information out of him because I was like, this situation is not, I'm like, I thought maybe I was going to be like sex trafficked or something, and like he was going to drive me off into some, I was still very cautious about who I was getting in a vehicle with, which is good. But but he assured me, he was telling me stories of like people he drove and like whatever. So I was like, okay, this is legitimate. And then I ended up at the mansion and I was like, holy crap, okay, we're here. I'm like, this is the real thing now. So we're cool. So it was like mid-afternoon. It was like it was probably like 3 p.m. I don't know, something like that. But it was like late afternoon. And I went there. And so I met like all the butlers and the security guards and all the staffing there. And they were the same people on that, you see on the E! Show, Girls Next Door. And I was like, oh my gosh, you feel like you know them, but really they have no idea who you are. It's like they're all, the butlers and the staff, they're all really nice. They were all treated me very well. And so I got they gave me a tour of the grounds and of the mansion grounds and stuff when I got there. And it was so cool to see everything. And I mean, there's a legitimate zoo in the back. Like,
wow.
I mean, monkeys. I mean, there's peacocks that walk around the ground. They're beautiful, and there's just so many things going on. Actually, another thing that was happening when I arrived there, there was a bunch of girls undressing, and they were getting in their bunny suit or costumes or whatever you want to call it, bunny suits, bunny costumes, bunny outfits, whatever, and they were filming a vodka commercial, which I ended up seeing way later. And I was like, oh yeah, I was there when they were filming that. And so they were all these girls that were already staying at the mansion were filming this at the time. And I thought it was so cool. I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's a real bunny costume. Like, this is so, And so anyway, so I got the full tour, So they had wrapped up whatever shooting they were doing during that day, and we had sat down for dinner. Mm-hmm. And so there's like a separate dining, room area. And I mean, the mansion's beautiful. It's very majestic and whatever. It's very old, but it's very beautiful. And so the butler staff, like in the kitchen, they're right off the dining room. And so like Hugh wasn't around at this time. So it was just us girls, like all the girls staying at the mansion. We all gathered around for like dinner. And so basically how it works is you can ask for anything that you want at the mansion. I mean, if you're a girl and you're staying there, you can ask for whatever you want and they will give it to you.
Wow. So is that like a rule, or is these are the type of girls that they recruit? Like they know these?
No, that was just like a flat across the board thing. And anything that you needed, they would get. And if you requested some sort of a food and the butlers or the staff in the kitchen didn't have it, they would actually go out in LA and they would find what you wanted and they would bring it back and like make it or cook it for you. It was like a whole thing.
This is my kind of place.
Also my kind of place. I was like, I could get used to that. I'm like, this is great.
That's awesome.
Sorry, all my story is like the longest story ever. But anyways, so basically I'm at this table and I'm around these other girls and, you know, whatever. And, you know, we all start introducing ourselves, and I, of course, you know, they go around the table and they're like, oh, what do you want? And, you know, all the girls who have been at the mansion or whatever, they're all like, oh, I want a salad, or, oh, I want, you know, spinach leaves with no dressing or whatever. And
I want air.
Yeah. And then I'm sitting there at, so like, you know, the butler, like the main person is at the head of the table asking everybody. I'm at the end over here in the corner. And so like, I'm one of the last people that orders, and all these girls are ordering all this healthy stuff. And then of course they come to me, and I'm like, you know what I could really go for? I'm like, I want a full bowl, like a huge bowl of penne pasta, you know, put on the cheese. I want the sauce. I want the whole works. Like, I love it.
That language now.
I know, right? I love Italian food. So, so anyways, like, and then all these girls were just kind of like giving me like the side eye, like, who is this girl? You know, she's coming in of the mansion, like, they're all eating like salad. Okay, which I like salad too, but I mean, come on. I'm like, this is dinner. I'm at the mansion. I just got here. I had an awesome tour. Like, I'm like, I want a big bowl of pasta, like in my face. I'm like, get it in my belly. I want this pasta. So then, of course, all these girls are like staring at me like, who is this chick? You know, where did this chick come from? And it was just, when I think back on it, it's just freaking hilarious, because just they were so shocked that, you know, after hearing, you know, because girls technically, you know, especially models or whatever, they all like, you kind of want to like fit in with the group, you know, like, so the girl who orders last is like, oh, well, I don't want to order something different because all these other girls are ordering salad or whatever. And I'm like, no, I want pasta. Like, you got some garlic bread on the side for that? Like, I need some carbs. I need all these things. So yeah, so that's just one of the initial meetup. But and then of course after everybody got their food, then Hugh came in, and then he started chatting with all of the new girls to introduce himself to all the new girls that arrived. And so he finally came around to me, and you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm Holly from Madison, you know, and then, you know, it was the joke because we all know Holly Madison, you know, she's beautiful, whatever, and she was his former girlfriend, is Holly Madison. So it was kind of like a joke, like, oh, it's Holly, because she had just left the mansion when
that was actually smart of you to say that, even though it was true, because he's not going to forget you.
He didn't forget me. Let's just put it that way. So, so anyway, so she was his former girlfriend, and she had just, when I got to the mansion, I was hoping that I was going to run into, you know, Kendra, Bridget, and Holly, because I was their fan. You know, I sat there and watched them on Girls Next Door for how many years, but they weren't there. They had already left. So it was a little bit unfortunate for me, but whatever, it's fine. So anyways, yeah, I was like, oh, you know, hi, Hugh. Like, I'm Holly from Madison, Wisconsin, you know, and then, like, you know, he starts talking about himself. You know, Hugh is a really, I mean, you know, rest in peace, Hugh, you know, but like, he was a really nice guy, and he was very respectable. I know there's a lot of stuff that's out there about, you know, girls, you know, saying all this crazy stuff about him, and, you know, everyone has a different experience, but my personal experience with Hugh, you know, he never treated me poorly. He was always very respectable. Like, when we initially met up, he was, because when I mentioned Madison, Wisconsin, so let's just rewind when he started the magazine. So he was actually in the Army, and he was in the Midwest area. So he was actually telling me he was in like Wisconsin, like, you know, because he was in the Illinois, Wisconsin area before he started the magazine. And he was telling me all about the, you know, his experience and everything like that. Because I basically brought him back, you know, I'm just like, oh, I'm from Madison. He's like, oh, wait a minute. Like, I was there when I was in the Army, you know, I was, you know, around Wisconsin before I started the magazine. You know, obviously everybody knows the mansion in Illinois and stuff like that, where he started the actual magazine there at the original.
That's right. I saw an old documentary on him, and it was pretty cool. It was how he started out, and that's right. It was in Illinois, the whole magazine thing. That's pretty cool.
So cool. So yeah, I guess that was like the longest version of that story. Basically,
I thought it was great. You know, again, you did what you wanted to do. That was the best part. You were like, "Fuck this shit. I'm getting pasta. That's it."
Absolutely. You know, it's like, it's okay to be different. You know, like everyone's so worried about, oh, you need to fit in with everybody, and especially girls. Girls can be, you know, very catty and very well, you know, everybody has, you know, met people like that. These girls that are very into themselves and very like, oh, I need to fit in with this clique, this group, so I can, you know, fit in and be cool or be pop or whatever it may be. But I'm over here like, I can own my own self. Like, I'm cool. Give me carbs. Where's the bread? So,
I think it's great. And I like what you say about that too. You know, because I think it's really important. I'm a very, very big supporter of independent thinking. You know, not leaning towards what the media tells you, not leaning towards like, you know, fitting in or being a sheep and just kind of going with what other people do. Is really knowing who you are, owning it, and doing what you want to do. At the end of the day, what does it matter, right? I mean, tomorrow could be our last day on earth. So why are you gonna have salad when you could have penne alla vodka? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, being healthy is one thing, but I mean, come on, everyone needs to give themselves a little bit of a break every now and then. Like, it's okay. These girls, like, it's okay to eat food, you know? It's okay, you know, eat in front of a guy. It's okay to eat if you're being filmed or take a photo. Like, there's a lot of girls that are very, you know, iffy about that. But, you know, it's like,
What would you tell some young girls that are going to watch this, and you know, some young girls that follow you, you know, and maybe they're going through some struggles, you know, what would you tell them to make them feel good about themselves, and make them not worry about, you know, eating this, eating that? And what would you say to them?
Here's the deal. So do what makes you happy at the end of the day. Like, do what makes you happy. Do not worry about what other people think of you. Because especially when you're young, oh my gosh, I mean, I have so many stories of situations that happened to me. And like, I grew up in a very strict conservative household.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to like break out of that was, I finally, you know, well, not in recent years, but I mean, it took years, but you have to pull yourself away from any toxic, negative comments that people make at you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it, because, you know, people will say rude things to you, but at the end of the day, this is your life. You have one life. So you have to live it for you. You have to do what makes you happy, because nobody else is going to do no one else knows what you want out of life. You know, no one else is you. So you have to go out there and you have to get and take what you want in this life, because at the end of the day, you're just going to end up regretting things that you didn't do because you were afraid to do something because of what someone might say, or, oh, well, I can't do this because my parents, you know, they might have this opinion of me, but you know what, at the end of the day, your family's going to love you no matter what you do, because I can tell you this, even though I did Playboy, yes, my parents, you know, they didn't really, it's not really their thing, you know, but at the end of the day, they love me. I love them. I still respect the fact that, you know, Playboy isn't their favorite thing, and that's fine, because at the end of the day, I love the fact that I did Playboy. It was something that I wanted to do. I'm happy I did that. And I just don't want the youth or people to feel like that they can't do something because of something that somebody said or anything like that. I think that's a huge thing. And it's like, just separate yourself from that negative energy. Just don't listen to what other people are saying to you, and just do what makes you happy at the end of the day. Because I wanted to do Playboy. So, you know, I went and did it. And I am so happy that I did that, because I did it for me. I didn't do that for anybody else. I did it for me. And it makes me happy. So I think people that are the youth, the people who are young, just, you have one life. Like, this is not a dress rehearsal. You know, you're living your life every single day, and go out there and do the things that you want to do, and do not worry about how much time it takes you, how much effort it's going to take you. If you want something bad enough, you're going to go out there and get it. And don't let the negativity drag you down, because people are going to say negative things no matter what you do. So
Right.
you might as well do what makes you happy.
That's correct.
Because no matter what you're doing, people are going to have something to say about it.
Always.
Yeah, and you're going to feel a lot better about yourself at the end of the day, knowing that you did it for you, and not because, you know, what somebody said or whatnot.
So true. So true what you're saying. You know, and like, it is. And you know what's crazy too? It's like, you know, especially when you're younger, because it's like, yeah, we're talking about like people want to be in groups and they want to fit in, you know, and stuff like that. You know what the funniest part about that all is? We get into our own heads. So while we're concerned with, you know, should we be doing this? Even though I want to do it, I don't know how other people are going to feel about it. The funniest part about all of that is, while we're so concerned with trying to fit in, there's a group of people that are doing all the stuff that you're thinking about what you want to do. So you're going to fit in no matter which way you go. You know, it's just a matter of the people that are with you, you know, or the people that you discover in your walk of life while you're doing the stuff that you want to do. It's pretty amazing, that energy that you get from, you know, doing what you want to do.
What's the saying? Like, you're like the top 5 people that you spend the most time with, or whatever, like that's who you are, or something like that. I think that's decently true, because, you know, like, the people that you spend the most time with, they have an effect on you, whether you realize it or not. True. But they do. So that's another important thing. But if you do the things that you want to do, then you're going to meet people who are like-minded, and then you're going to actually be surrounding yourself with people who support what you're doing. And that's going to be a good thing in the end.
It is. And you know what's funny too? Like, you know, when you start doing something that you enjoy doing, you start to notice that your circle starts to change. You know, like the people that were once with you, now that you're doing all these different things and other things that you want to do with your life, you notice like all of a sudden they're like on the back burner, and not because of anything bad that could happen. It's just that energy that takes you to different places and connects you with different people. You know, I firmly believe in energy and stuff like that. I get hate all the time. I get, my DM box is full, like telling me, it's crazy, telling me I don't, you didn't say this, you didn't bring this up, you forgot about this, what's the matter with you? I don't like your opinion on this, but in a much worse way than when I'm telling it. But I laugh, you know, because that's good though. That's good. That means that people are listening.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm with that. So what's coming up for you? So I mean, obviously you just got signed by I saw that this management company just signed you.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Stars Marketing Group. Oh, they're so nice. They are such wonderful people, and I'm so excited to work with them, because ever since the first time that I had talked to them, they have just been so gracious, and they're hardworking people. And the thing that I like about them is that they are tailoring things to me, where, I mean, I had originally sought them out because I was looking for new representation, because not to say that my other representation was bad. It's just, I was looking for something where I could have people more on my side. And what I mean by that is, like a lot of these other, you know, people or groups or whatever, they have so much, like their grouping of people is so vast that they can't actually spend a lot of time on each individual person. So basically the people that I was working with before, I would never hear from them. They would never, you know, like call me or talk about my career aspirations, or, you know, like things that, you know, actually pertain to me, and things that would help me in my career or my life or anything like that, or with events, or, you know, things that I wanted to do. And Stars Marketing Group, they are freaking awesome, because they actually take the time out of their day to work with me, to actually think about things that are good for me, things that things that they're already planning on, like events for me and things that they can see in the future, and all this stuff. And my other people I was working with before, they were working with so many people that they didn't have time to sit there and kind of like be very personable and spend a lot of time on you and helping you individually. It was more of just this mass kind of like, oh, here's something in your area, maybe you can, but it wasn't something that I was interested in doing or anything like that. So so I'm really excited to work with Stars Marketing Group. I think they are awesome. They're such sweet people. I'm really thankful to have them on my team.
They fully support you, because they even shared this podcast tonight on their platform, which I thought was really nice.
Awesome. They're so great.
Yeah, it was great. So shout out to Stars, because that was so cool of you guys to do that. They tagged me, they tagged MMA Uncensored, and I thought that was really nice. And they highlighted you. So that's great.
Yeah, they're such great people. I can't even say enough good things about them. And I'm really, really looking forward to everything, in the future, and like working together with them and seeing like what we can do. And like, I'm just really excited about it. So
I'm going to put this out there in the universe. I think.
Oh boy.
I think maybe a Miss America pageant is next for you.
Oh, really?
Actually, I think so.
I think I aged out. I think you can only be up to 28.
I don't care about all that.
You know what? Someone needs to change these rules. Okay, like maybe I should petition that we need to change these rules.
Just so you know, I'm from Brooklyn, and I got a guy, and he'll hook you up. We'll get you a new ID, no problem. We'll take care of that age thing. Don't even worry about it.
Looking forward to it. I'll walk across the stage in my bikini. Like, you hook me up with that, and then we're good.
I got you. Actually, we are in the process of manufacturing MMA Uncensored bikinis. So I'll make sure once they're all set and done that you will get one.
Perfect. Just reach out to Stars, and they'll be in contact with you.
Yeah, I like Stars already. I like them. I feel comfortable with them. So I'll be reaching out to them for sure. And I think we had sent you some shirts too. I'm not sure if you got them in the mail yet, but they're on the way if you didn't get them yet.
I have not gotten them. Actually, I didn't check the mail today because I was busy, but I have not seen them yet. But I'm excited about it.
Yes, yes. I don't know which ones we sent you though. I gotta talk to Chris. Maybe it was the MMA and Chill one or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right along with my Netflix nights. I've been binging Netflix lately.
What are your shows that you watch on Netflix?
Well, I made it through. I've been trying to watch these for years, but I'm just so busy with my life that I just didn't get around to it. But now, since we've been in lockdown, I've actually had a lot more time. So, I'm not going out and doing things, but not traveling, which I'm sad about because I love traveling. But anyways, so I watched, 5 seasons of Breaking Bad. So I got through all of that,
Crazy.
Which was good. However, I watched I think it's 3 seasons of Ozark. So Ozark is so good. The ending is so good. You've seen the ending, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
See it. I almost saw it coming, but not like that.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either. And then I was like, oh my gosh, if I was them, I would be like, I'm so screwed. Because basically they're looking at their future. They're like, oh, well, somebody else is going to come along. It's going to be them. And then they're going to be helped. They're going to get their head blown.
They're so dysfunctional. They're so dysfunctional that there's never a happy moment, right? And they're so dysfunctional, but like you're so intrigued to watch it. It's so crazy.
Absolutely. Like Ozark kept to me. Like okay, this is bad, but I think I took like 2.5 days, maybe 3, and I watched all the seasons straight through. That's
good for you. That's dedicated.
I was sitting there with my pizza, eating my pizza, watching the Netflix, and I'm like, I can't be the only one on this planet who's doing this right now. But yeah, Ozark was so good. It was so good. And I really like thrillers. Not that was like a total thriller, but it just kept me really engaged every single episode. So I was really entertained by it. And I just like shows like that. I'm hoping that the next season comes out soon because I need that in my life.
I think we got another year before the next Ozark comes out because they dropped season 3 like I think like a month or two ago, like right when all the quarantine hit. So,
well, I'm glad that I actually waited all through 3 seasons so that I could just sit there and binge watch all of it at once.
Yeah, exactly right. I will hook you up. I'll send you my list because I think I have very good taste in television. So I'll send you my Netflix list.
No, I'm just kidding. I also watched. I just watched Hollywood. That's good. I think
all right. I got something to say about Hollywood. Very good show. So Hollywood tricks you, right? They do this little bait and switch on you. So it's like, all right, 1940s Hollywood. Yeah. And then you start watching it, and the first like 4 episodes is like nonstop gay sex. I'm like, guys, I get it. But we lighten it up a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying? But they had I understand why they had to do it. They had to like sell with the story that they were trying to tell. But after like all that craziness was happening, like on like episode 5 and on, I was like, this is a really good show.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, okay, whatever, gay sex, whatever. Like, I don't want to like necessarily, like, I'm straight, whatever. But like, I don't necessarily want to sit there and watch a bunch of it, in front of me or whatever. But like, if you want to, like, do you, everyone should do them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to watch a TV show. That's all I'm saying. I just want to watch. I want to see the story unfold, but
it was a little excessive. I agree. That it was a little, like, much. But I don't think it was. It was tasteful. It wasn't. It could have been more raunchy. Let's be real. It could have been. They could have overdone it a lot more.
There was some funny scenes though, like the guy from I didn't watch the show, but it's very popular. The sitcom. The guy. He's the agent, and he's gotten all the guys like giving him head and stuff.
It starts with an A, I think. I could be wrong. I just watched the show and I can't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about. I can just see his face.
And whoever wrote this show hates Rock Hudson, by the way, because like they made him so stupid. Like, all right, whatever. If that's how he is in real life, but still, like they made this guy look so dumb on the show. Oh my god.
I would agree with that statement. I agree. Poor guy.
Dreamland though. Dreamland. The ending was very good though. I like how they incorporated Dreamland at the end. That was cool.
Where is it at? But it's funny. Well, actually, one of my nicknames in high school was Hollywood, believe it or not, because my name is Holly and my last name is White. And so in high school, everyone just called me Hollywood, which I don't know where that came from. People, I guess, thought I'd end up in Hollywood, which actually happened. So I guess that did happen. So that's cool, I guess. But yeah. And then I chose Holly Joe as my stage name, I guess you could call it. I don't know. It's whatever I put on the initial Playboy contract that I had signed. So then that kind of stuck with me too. So I don't know. I have a lot of nicknames, but yeah, Hollywood was one of them.
What's your favorite nickname?
Gosh, I don't know. Maybe here I gotta give it to my dad. So one of my it's for nostalgic purposes. So when I was little, he just called me Holly Doodles. So that was like my dad called me. I have no idea why he called me that, but
little pet name for you.
Yeah, it's a cute little pet name. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a favorite nickname. I have a lot of them, but not maybe Holly Joe. I don't know. I usually go by Holly Joe. So
I personally like Holly Joe only because my name is Joe, and that I just like the way that sounds. So not that I'm being partial or anything like that, But
why you would think that? No kidding. Yeah, good nickname.
So Holly, what is next for you? What's next on the horizon? I know we got this quarantine thing in, but to me, you seem like a go-getter. You gearing up for anything?
Yeah, so I'm working on a couple projects that I haven't really told anybody about yet, but stay tuned to what I have going on in my social media channels because I might be announcing something at some point. So I'm working on a few things, but I would love to do another Playboy shoot. I would love to be in Sports Illustrated. I would also love to be in Maxim. You know what? Because that was my dream when I was 17, 18. So why not just do all the 3?
That's right.
All the three. I mean, I did Playboy, but I would do it again. So let's do all the three. Why not? Maybe
You know,
FHN. What am I missing? I don't know. Let's just do them all.
I say do them all. I think we're gonna do an MMA Uncensored Illustrated. I think that's gonna be next.
Okay, well, I'll be your cover. I'll just put I'll put my name in the hat to be on the cover of this whatever we're doing here.
Done. I'm sure somehow, some way, I'll find a way to be in charge of this whole thing. So I'll make sure that you're in. That's it.
Let's do a calendar. I think calendars. We should take a poll. What do the people want? Calendar? What do the people want? What do the people want?
What do the people want? I want to do all different MMA Uncensored bikinis, and then we could, do other things too. MMA Uncensored, lingerie, or MMA Uncensored, evening wear, and then we could do this whole shoot.
I support that. MMA evening wear. What would that look like?
We can make it happen.
I feel like this is a thing. We could make this a thing.
I think this is a thing. I think it's becoming a thing right now, actually.
I think we've already accomplished. We just need to plan. Okay, well, we're gonna figure this out because I feel like this could be a thing.
I think so. All right, we have business to work on after this podcast.
Perfect.
Well, Holly, I want to thank you so much for being on MMA Uncensored. It was so much fun talking to you and having you a part of this.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
This again, absolutely. And I'm so thankful that you even had me on here. I think this is wonderful. So I'm very appreciative of your taking your time and speaking with me on here. So thank you.
You're awesome. I'm super interested and I'm a fan, and I wanted to talk to you and get to know you and have my viewers get to know who you are too. So guys, I'm gonna here's what I'll do. What's your the IG handle again? I'm gonna pop it up on here so they know.
Is Holly Joanne W. A lot of people think that they're like, oh, Holly Jo New. And I'm like, no, it's not new. I mean, yes, new is at the end of it. But I'm like, no, my last name is White, like W. So Holly Joanne W.
Did I do it right?
You did it right. Congratulations.
I knew that college education came in handy. Awesome. So everyone that's watching, if you want to get the latest and greatest on Holly, right there. Follow IG Holly, not Holly Jo New, Holly Joanne W.
Yes.
Awesome. Holly, I'm wishing you nothing but the best. I'm sure we'll talk soon, and I'm sure we're going to get some sort of MMA Uncensored, I don't know what, but something coming up.
The calendar shoot. We'll get on the evening wear, all the bikinis, the lingerie. I'm here for it.
I love it. Sounds great.
I'm already. Shoot tomorrow. No, okay.
Stay tuned. More announcements coming very soon.
All right. Thank you.
You got it. Take care.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye. And that's a wrap. I'm gonna bring up the man. Hey, get that thing on. Hey, buddy. What was it?
Hey, see this new shirt. See our new Tyson shirt. Look at this, man.
Let's see it. Ooh.
This one, I think this one's yours. This is you wear a medium, right?
Yeah, I wear a medium. I really could wear an XL with these pipes, but I like the medium fit. Ooh, my hometown, baby. Tyson. Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're $20, $21. Use
That's
code.
It?
Yeah, use code USA. We'll ship it to your house for free. I think it's like $21.
That's cheap,
it's on
Chris.
MMAUncensored.net. Yeah, and it's the athletic fit. It stretches. It's real good. Good quality stuff.
It looks. Yeah, that's
$22.
Yeah, dude, you can't go wrong for 22. Actually, guys, too, if you follow me on IG at Joe Miggs, I also have the Mike Tyson shirt on one of my saved stories. So you can check it out there. Click the MMA Uncensored link, and you'll be able to place an order. But those Tyson shirts are hot, man.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. We, it's helping me and the family, and kind of get through this tough time. So.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
we're all helps. I haven't got my stimulus check yet, Joe.
We got to talk to Trump, bro, and see what's going on with that Trump money, bro.
But I hear I might get it soon.
Oh, you did?
Some people got it a month ago.
I think we got to get King Leduc to go have a little chit chat with Trump.
Yeah, I think King Leduc might be coming to Tampa.
I think so, man. It sounds like he's very excited to get Lethwei here in the States, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and we have a lot of mutual friends, and yeah, I think maybe we can put something together. Me and Kevin Smith at Smith Combat Sports here in Tampa.
Shout out,
Smith
yeah.
Brothers, sorry.
Yeah, I chatted with Kevin today, and I told him I'd love to come by and check the gym out. So
yeah, it's about 15, 20 minutes from my house, and you can always stay at my house.
Yeah, man, I'll bring the goods, man. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, we'll have fun, of course. We'll leave that one alone. All right. So Joe, great job. You guys had some chemistry, you and her, huh?
Holly Joe's excellent. She's super professional. She's very good. Gorgeous. And beautiful, talented. I mean,
motivated,
it seems like
entrepreneur.
Yeah, it seems like anything that she touches is gold, man. She's great.
Positive messages. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy cutting up that one, editing and sharing that back and forth with you, bro.
Yeah, me too, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And she, we stumbled upon a good idea through conversation. MMA Uncensored. We got some work to do, my friend. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
We're gonna need some help, Joe.
We're gonna need some help. We're gonna do I'd like to do. I'm just spitballing right now, but I'd like to do an open casting for women that are interested in gaining their following on social media.
They can probably be an intern or something like Joe. Help us out, and we help them get the following and teach them what we do.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we could start a whole program.
Yeah, but only females right now, though. We'll talk about the guys later.
Yes, we're equal opportunity here at MMA Uncensored. So
you know how it is, Joe.
Of course, I know how it is, my friend.
But that sounds good. I'd like to give back.
Yeah, it's important, man. It really is. And I'm glad, man. I'm glad. I thought we had a great show tonight. Again, special thank you to Dave Leduc, Lethwei World Champion, calling all the way from Montreal, Canada tonight, and of course, Playboy model Holly Joe calling in from Wisconsin. It was cool. It was a lot of fun tonight. It was a nice combo tonight.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to @JoeMiggs on Instagram. Follow @JoeMiggs, dude. He's at 500. He was at 200. He's creeping. He's climbing. He's going to get to that 10,000 by Christmas. That's the goal.
You never know, man. You never know.
You need that. You deserve that. We'll get you.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
I'll see you Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait. Weather's going to be nice. South Florida, baby.
Yeah. We're going to have some fun.
Yeah, we are. I can't wait, man.
The first official meeting of the minds.
I know, right? No more of this quarantine stuff. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you have a good night. Thanks for everything. It was an awesome show. Outstanding.
Thank you, my friend. And signing out. We'll talk soon, brother.
MMA Uncensored out. Have a good night, Joe.
You too, brother. Thank you again, guys. And don't forget to follow MMA Uncensored on IG at MMA Uncensored _. Subscribe on YouTube for all the other episodes that we have, as well as this one will be out this week. Other than that, guys, I hope you're all staying safe. Stay healthy. For those of you that are affected by this pandemic, my thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please follow. God bless you all and have a great night.